Doctor Who, Story by Story. The Time Meddler Review. The Time Meddler is the name of a 4-part Doctor Who story that was broadcast last as the final story of the show's second season. It was broadcast from the 3rd to the 24th of July 1965 and starred William Hartnell in his second season as the First Doctor, accompanied by his companions Maureen O'Brien as Vicky and new companion Peter Purves as Stephen Taylor. The story was written by Dennis Spooner. Plot. The Doctor, Vicky and new companion Stephen arrive in Northumbria in 1066, right before the famous Battle of Hastings, only to find that history may not be about to go the way it's supposed to, thanks to a mysterious local monk. Guest cast. The major guest star of The Time Meddler is Peter Butterworth, an English actor and comedian best known for his appearances in the Carry On movies, but was also a regular on children's television and radio. Also appearing in The Time Meddler is Alethea Charlton, who Doctor Who fans will recognise as the cave woman from the very first Doctor Who story, An Unearthly Child. Trivia. The Time Meddler was the first pseudo-historical story in the show's history, essentially a story set in historical times, but featuring science fiction elements other than the Doctor and his companions and the TARDIS. It seems bizarre that it took until the end of the second season to come up with such an idea, but from this point onwards it would become a staple part of the series format. The story was novelised by Nigel Robinson in 1987 and released on video in 2002. It was later released on DVD in 2008. The story was the first to feature another Time Lord besides the Doctor and Susan in the form of the meddling monk. Although he is not named as such here, he has another TARDIS and is clearly from the Doctor's own people. Reaction. The story was a big hit on television, scoring between 7.7 and 8.9 million viewers across all 4 episodes. The story is also a popular one with Doctor Who fans and critics alike. Patrick Mulcan of Radio Times called it an utter delight in 2009, and while there are a few fans who feel the story is too slow-paced, most of fandom regards The Time Meddler as a very atmospheric, amusing, and above all, entertaining story. What I think. I really enjoyed The Time Meddler. Now, I think that I may have seen an episode of this at a Doctor Who fan club way back in the early 90s, like 1993, but I'm fairly sure that I didn't actually see the whole thing. It may well have been one of those instances where I simply had to leave to catch a train home because it was a long way away. But yeah, I'm pretty certain I didn't watch the whole story. In fact, when this story was released on video in the early 2000s, it was pretty much one of the last William Hartnell stories that I hadn't ever seen in full before. I think it was released around here in late 2002, and I got it for Christmas, and I actually watched it for the first time on New Year's Day, 2003. I really enjoyed it then. The other story I got, I think, was The Censorites, which I was not a particular fan of, and I'm still not, but I really enjoyed The Time Meddler, and over the years and multiple viewings since, my enjoyment of it has only increased. Douglas Camfield's direction is absolutely superb. This is not a particular surprise, given that Camfield is often regarded as one of the best Doctor Who directors, and his work here is no less impressive, particularly the stuff on the cliff tops, with the back projection of the clouds and the sound of the sea. This thing was shot in studio, and yet you really believe you're on the English coastline, which is a testament to how impressive the direction and the production really is. The cast are also great. Peter Butterworth, essentially doing Patrick Troughton's second Doctor 2 years early, is a hoot as the monk, and the regulars are also on great form. William Hartnell is his usual splendid self. Stephen is making a really strong impression, and Vicky, now kind of free of the strictures of having to be the Susan replacement and basically taking over from Barbara as the show's female lead is also really impressive, really likable, and really cute. And the chemistry between her and Stephen, and indeed all three of the leads, is really impressive, making a lineup of these three seem very, very appealing going forward. The Time Meddler is amusing, entertaining, and atmospheric, and in all honesty, I think it's probably my favourite William Hartnell story. I give The Time Meddler nothing less than a straight A.